Welcome back, everyone. We just got done watching SMC Part 4, The Dream Arc. So I have lots of notes, and I actually have to write mine down. David has a great memory. I do not.
You're good.
So we're going to start with the first movie, of course. I don't know. I have to say, like, overall, I could honestly do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 vibe with all the innuendos. I mean,
Right.
one word kept coming to mind: phrasing. It's like, what is going on right now?
Right.
So, like, honestly, the animation is the biggest thing. You had said
Right.
that. I mean, the animation is like this perfect marriage of 90s and new, and it's crisp, it's clean, it's beautiful. Um Very impressive. I mean, I'm starting to think that's what they were doing for 4 years, was perfecting the animation.
Right. Waiting 4 years allowed them to garner up enough money to fix the animation quality. Not that they didn't have the necessary budget, but
Right?
I mean, it would definitely fit the theory.
Exactly.
So,
So, I have to say, like, let's see. I did find it funny how Isagi's like, oh, hey, Mom, I'm going to sleep over at Mamo's. No big deal. She doesn't
right.
care.
She didn't even say anything.
Now, if I recall, she had to lie to Mom in OG. Like,
She did.
so
Yeah.
that
She
was
going somewhere.
that was funny.
Yeah. What a huge difference. That was a switch.
Extremely. The bell for Chibiusa is much
Put some
smaller,
hair on.
and it's very pretty. It's much
Oh, it
prettier.
is.
You had said that could be what, a Q posket?
A Q-Pot.
Oh, Q pots. That's right.
Q-Pot merch, because they make all those little expensive jewelry pieces, like of the brooches.
Oh yeah.
They even made Speaking of this, they made the. I don't know what it's called. I have the stupid thing. The thing that Pegasus. I'm gonna look like such a noob. The thing that Pegasus is in. The Stallion Reeve. Words are not coming to me. They made one of the Stallion Reeves, so I feel like if they did a future Q-Pot collaboration, they should do one for Sailor Moon Eternal, which I'm surprised they don't have one, but that would be the perfect thing to put in that, jewelry lineup, is the little bell.
Oh, definitely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Be perfect.
Be very pretty. And we can say that the transformations were amazing.
100%.
I mean, goosebumps. Like, I'm
Chills.
very, very well done. So, I'm gonna be straight. Now Helena's voice left a little for me. It left a little for me. Like, I just, I don't know. And I think, as I told you, I think it's because she sounds too sexy. Because
seductive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is now Helena was very bitter. She was very angry.
Right.
And you got that near the end a little bit, but most of the time she just sounded like she was trying to seduce someone.
Right. Which I'm gonna jump back to the 90s Nehelenia. Especially if you look at the way she's portrayed in the original English dub. She's such a hateful person. Like, you can see the hate and the fact that she just loathes Sailor Moon throughout the entire thing. You don't really feel that in this movie from her until the end. You do, but like in the beginning, you don't. So it's kind of weird to see her like that until the end.
Right.
So I totally understand where you're coming from.
I got a little annoyed with the constant self-deprecating Mamo. Oh, I'm just dragging you down.
Yeah, everybody just seemed to be beating themselves up.
It was like, ring, ring, I'm going to need some therapy. Can I get a therapist on the line? Maybe we're a little more jaded, but like this time it just sound. Oh, and you did say about the voices sounding more natural.
The voice
They
acting,
did.
because if anybody has seen our previous video where we talked mostly about the original English dub and, you know, the opinions that people, you know, share on that dub, we did mention a little bit of the Viz actors and how we feel about the overall acting. Now, in this current season, the acting was a lot better. Now, as you know, I mentioned to you, that can fall on the director, whoever is directing, because they're in charge of the actors, and you know, they kind of tell them how to interpret the characters. Now, yes, you have free range with it, and you can, you know, act and play. But I feel like with the past seasons of Crystal, as well as the redub of the original anime, they weren't able to perform to the best of their ability. Now, after watching the Sailor Moon Eternal movies, I have no complaints. They sounded perfect.
Yeah.
So, whoever's directing the Eternal movies, thumbs up to you, because, like, these actors are not bad. It's just that I feel like whoever the previous director was for the redub of the 90s anime as well as Crystal kind of held the actors back.
Yeah.
And you can really see that. If you go and watch these back to back, you will see what I'm talking about. Some people have the eye for it and some don't. We happen to. So,
yeah.
But you can tell a huge difference.
One thing we both thought was good and funny is when Rini finally got, that's my dad.
Right.
That's my dad.
Took you 2 seasons, but it's okay. 2 or 3.
Glad you're finally on board with that idea.
Right.
Very, very good. Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. Maybe I'm wrong for this, but when Amy's mom was like, I've been a bad mom.
That was pretty random, and it was funny, but it totally threw me off.
I don't recall that being said. Now, I could be wrong, but that was just funny to me.
Right.
And then I did think it was interesting how they kept referring to each other as Princess Mercury, Princess Venus, Princess Mars. And of course we know why that's coming, but it always throws me a little bit. But yeah, I really think that they did an amazing job with the transformations, the melding of the 90s with the new. That was a huge deal. I really hope that this is the direction that they are going to continue with Stars. Now, I'm heard a rumor we are getting Stars, so fingers and toes crossed on that one.
That has been confirmed, and
okay.
I will give a small shout out to Sailor Moon Obsession, because I believe that's where I heard it from, and this is like a few months back. I think this was back when the Japanese movies were hitting theaters, so January, February. I think it was around February that I had seen, I believe it was her. And if it wasn't you, Sam, I apologize. But I believe it was her who tweeted out that, you know, these have been confirmed. So, but we haven't, you know, heard anything from Toei themselves, but, and, you know, we'll obviously update you on that information if we're somehow incorrect, but I believe it has been confirmed. I'm at least 90% sure. So. Cool.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing I will say, going back to the self-deprecation moment, was when Rini was all like not confident, and I'm like, you know, she's 900 years old, and if she couldn't get confidence in nearly a millennia, that doesn't give me a lot of hope. No, that doesn't give the rest of us a lot of hope here.
Plenty of time. I personally think 900 years is plenty of time, but
Oh, and Ray's grandpa looks completely different.
Yes.
He's not so silly pervy, short, balding. Right. He's like tall and has hair and a deep voice. I'm like, Oh.
Completely different. Yeah.
Who are you?
Right? Where did you go?
Where did exactly? Yeah, you had mentioned the direct translations were pretty different for you with the names.
So, just to elaborate on that, just to add some clarity, what threw me off was if anybody's watched the Viz Media dub, is Viz Media does not have the rights to what is the Eternal movies on Netflix. This is their actors. I'm going to change the subject just a little bit, but just so people know, Netflix holds the rights to the Eternal movies, not Viz. The actors were brought on board to add consistency also because they're the current voices of the characters in the new dub. But the original scriptwriter who wrote the scripts for the redub as well as Crystal, the previous seasons of Crystal, did come back. But if you guys have watched all of the redub of the 90s classic series as well as Crystal, you will know that the translation they chose was, instead of Mamo-chan, they said Mamo. Or they would just say Usagi or Mako instead of Mako-chan or Mamo-chan. Whereas in the Eternal movies, they dubbed that. So instead of saying Mamo and Mako and Ami, they actually said Mamo-chan, Mako-chan, Usa-chan, Usagi-san.
Yeah.
Like they those Japanese terms, the phrasing, they actually dubbed. And so every time I would hear that, it just threw me off because I'm so used to hearing that only in Japanese. So hearing it dubbed into English was just so weird. You know, it's going to take a minute. I might have to watch it again in order for it to kind of sink in, but I'm just so used to hearing that in the Japanese. So, and another thing I want to mention which piggybacks off of this is Rei saying Akurio Taisan, which the direct translation of that in English is evil spirits be exorcised, which is what we have heard her say throughout Crystal as well as the redub of the English series. She never said it in Japanese, which is Akurio Taisan, which she said in the Eternal movie. So that threw me off as well. So, yeah that was just completely different, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know why they chose that, but it was interesting.
Right. Yeah, I think even though as good as Rini is, she still sounds whiny to me.
Yeah, she did quite a bit of it.
And then the Amazon's quartet, they were done very well. I was impressed with their animation and their voices. Like, I thought they really nailed those characters pretty well. I always think it's funny when Artemis has a crush on Mina, and then like that moment where he's like trying to keep her from falling, and then the rock falls on him and the blood runs down her hand. It's like shocking, and then he turns to his human, or it's called, because he's it's like his human form.
His human form, yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's why you can't transform. I gotta help you out.
Right.
Like, whoops.
Yep.
So at the end of one, I really liked the ending songs in the credits, and then we get that glimpse of Futaro kind of like waking up for part 2. And part 2 is a lot of the outer Senshi, and I have to say, like, Michiru's little dorky fan was funny. I don't recall that.
He was.
And then you see the rings for Haruka and Michiru, and then, of course, Setsuna has one too. And I have to say, Setsuna was looking very hot. They were all, like, given that very grown and sexy vibe, all three of them.
Right.
And then Hotaro's just super cute. But then she's like, oh, time to glow up,
Right, she had her glow up moment.
And, let's see. I don't know. It's funny because we were saying that when Haruka said how, like, what was it? Hotaro can be a terror, and then
Right,
we're like,
right.
she'll never be as bad as Rainy, y'all. Come on.
Yep. That is 100% true. Sorry to all the people who love Rainy out there, but it's the truth. Let's just be real. It's 100% true.
Yeah.
She will never be
completely. And then I have to say that, like, the ghost Helios and the ghost Rini, I didn't recall that. So, but I was like, was that new? But then I'm like, maybe it was in the manga. Like, I honestly can't remember at this point because it's like 5 a.m. So
yeah, it is.
And I have to say, like, again, with that grown and sexy vibe, everybody was definitely showing the cleavage. That was interesting because I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't recall that, but they definitely were showing lots of it, especially Haruka.
Yeah.
With the shirt.
Yeah. And I really liked, you know, Hotaro's awakening scene and the crystal hearts, and they were all very pretty. And the outer's transformation scenes.
Yes.
That was great.
I wanna piggyback off of that. We finally, I know this has been a huge thing within the community for years since the original anime. We finally got a transformation for Sailor Falcons. And it was beautiful.
They did it very well.
They did.
They did the wait. I mean, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I'll be honest, season 4 is not my favorite. I do love Helios. He is my best favorite part, I think. And, of course, the transformations. But I just, like, it's never been my favorite, so I didn't really know what to expect on this. So I feel like with the way they upped the ante on the animation just really made it worth the wait. I mean, I would have liked to have gotten it sooner, and I hope we don't have to wait anywhere near as long for Stars. But, you know, I mean, they definitely worked a magic on this anime, so on their animation quality. So that was nice. And I do have to say, what was up with Evil Granny's jack-o'-lantern talking stomach? What is? I don't remember that. Like, what the hell was that?
So as I was watching that part when it first showed up, it made me think of a part in the 90s anime. There's a small part where it shows that, where Nehelenia communicates. Like, she has, like, this shadow, and it comes up as Nehelenia's face on her stomach, and it's Nehelenia seeking through her. But it only does that one time. Okay. I think that's where
I don't recall
the 90s anime took inspiration from to do that, because in the Eternal movies, it happened multiple times, and it wasn't Nehelenia. I think it was her one time, but for the most part, it was just there and it was talking. You know, like it was.
Okay, really wait. Weird. I think I do remember that now. I just feel like it was more comical in this one. I guess it stood out more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It kept happening too. It wasn't just one time. It kept happening.
Mhm. True.
So that was interesting.
Yeah, but little Mamo and little Usa and their little dream nightmare was still cute. Very cute.
Right. I like where he made her breakfast.
Yeah, he's like, I'll do everything. You don't have to do anything. Every woman's dream. I do like how they talk about the Golden Kingdom, the Golden Crystal. They really they finally talk about Mamo's, like, hidden powers and him being attached to the earth, etc., because, you know, these are things that never got touched on in OG. So it's like, it's always nice to have that explanation, I think, because so many people, the running joke with Mamo is that he's useless and he does nothing. And I think that's what's so great about it, because that's what this reinforces, is that they are strongest together, that he does definitely have a role in this. So I always appreciate that.
What was also cool too is, like, you know, there's that whole theory, like, well, where's Sailor Earth? Well, as you see, each Sailor Scout,
Mm-hmm.
Sailor Senshi, has a Sailor Crystal. We can see them in the Eternal films get their Sailor Crystals. Well, Mamoru holds Earth's Sailor Crystal, and that is the Golden Crystal.
Right.
And that's why he was able to fight alongside each of the Sailor Scouts when they were using the power from their Sailor Crystals to help Sailor Moon. He pulled his out and was lending his power.
Right.
So he takes the role of Sailor Earth. There is no Sailor Earth because he's the Prince of the Earth and holds Earth's Sailor Crystal. And that was another thing. I never knew the Golden Crystal was his Sailor Crystal because I haven't read that part of the manga in a long time. So
right. Well,
that came as a bit of a shock to me.
Well, I have to say that, you know, I just, the ending was very beautiful, as in the entire animation work. You can tell there was a lot of love and care and time and effort. Definite time was put into this. And, I mean, I am a little concerned that there is no kind of glimpse of stars like we've had with the other seasons. We get a little blip of the next and it does kind of concern me, I'm not gonna lie, because I was really expecting something, but you know, as long as we're confirmed for stars, I can sleep better at night now. So but yeah, I mean, it was very well done. The animation really was, I think, the biggest thing, because in the transformations, I think those were the biggest.
And the attack.
And the what?
The updated version of the attacks, like especially the outer Sailor Scouts attack. The reanimated version. It's like they took the original style of the 90s anime and just reanimated modern. They looked beautiful. World shaking, deep submerge, dead scream. They did them all. So did all the other ones. All of them look beautiful, but just like the overall quality of the animation has really stepped up.
They did all the attacks, it felt like, and they really. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too little. It was just right. You know.
The attacks were perfect. Like seeing the original attack from the 90s anime reanimated in a modern form was just perfect. They looked beautiful.
They did.
So it was nice to see them, you know, animated.
So exciting.
Yeah.
It was better than I thought it would be. I was a little irritated with the amount of time we had to wait, but I'm very glad that they really did so well with the animation. It's like they finally got it right. So I hope that this is the direction that they will stick with on Stars. And, you know, I'm bummed. I really wanted a teaser for Stars. But I'm hoping that we will get one maybe soon, because I'm hoping that'll be for the 30th anniversary. Which is right around the corner.
It is. Next year.
I know. It's crazy.
So hopefully we hear something soon.
Yes. I don't know. Well, that is all my thoughts. Did you have anything else that you wanted to touch on?
I think we them all.
Okay. Well, that's it for us, guys. Feel free to like and subscribe. Until next time.
See you guys later.
Bye.